Here's the news at 6. First, the highlights. Governor Sanwo-Olu flags off reintroduction of environmental monthly sanitation campaign. Federal government seeks 40 billion naira private sector investment to combat tuberculosis. On foreign scene, former United States President Donald Trump urges Americans to stand united against after assassination attempt. And in sports, Spanish tennis star Carlos Alcaraz defeats Novak Djokovic to claim 8th Wimbledon title. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has flagged off awareness programs ahead of the proposed reintroduction of the monthly environmental sanitation. Governor Sanwo-Olu stated that 200,000 waste bins and different colors of refuse bags for sorting will be distributed to households across the state. He enjoined the women, youth, men, elderly, school children, and all stakeholders to collaborate with the government to kickstart, sensitize, create awareness, and embrace cleanliness of their environment at all times.
To announce and using Lagos Island, two local government, Lagos Island and Lagos Island East, as a form of advocacy that we will push around the entire state on our plan to ensure that we begin a collective process of ensuring that the cleanliness in our environment is important, is paramount, and is something that every citizen must be aware.
Governor Sanwo-Olu, who frowned at the level of environmental infractions on Lagos Island, especially removal of manholes on roads, said the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure and Environment and Water Resources will set up a gang to monitor the environment.
The Environment and the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure are going to be setting up gangs. And if by whatever means you are caught, there are huge consequences to it. But beyond that, it's also for us to use this occasion to announce and using Lagos Island, our two local government, Lagos Island and Lagos Island East, as a form of advocacy that we will push around the entire state.
While admonishing residents of Lagos Island to support government in ensuring cleaner environment at all times, Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tohuma Wahab, urged the leaders, community development associations, and community development committees to join the government in ensuring safe, flood-free, and sustainable environment. He challenged all agencies under the ministry to rejig their activities and synergize to make renewed efforts on the environment a success.
I believe that this initiative, when it fully commences and we wrap up the advocacy and awareness, will ensure that flooding is reduced drastically to the barest minimum for the good people of Lagos State. And like the governor and the people have always said, we can't continue to believe the ostrich and claim global warming is not real.
Our correspondent Deola Akindele quotes Governor Sanwo-Olu as saying that for the next 2 Saturdays, the advocacy and awareness programs on environmental sanitation will be taken across the state. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has pledged his administration's commitment towards sustainable eco-friendly initiatives and planting of 5,000 trees within the next 1 year. Governor Sanwo-Olu made the pledge at a Lagos State Tree Planting Day event with the theme Nurture Our Future, held at the Lagos House Marina. The governor called for more collaborations from the private sector to increase tree planting to about 25,000 in 1 year and stressed the need to take conversations around climate change to all residents of the state to protect the earth's environment and curb the surge of climate change.
We're going to come up with a grant, a support, so that it can organically grow within the community, and we can believe that it's only when we put these things in the right places, people can nurture them, people can watch over them, and we can see these trees, being grown in different parts of our city. And I believe that the city is not overbuilt, that they still cannot receive 25,000, 50,000 trees in the next 1 year.
Earlier in his opening remarks, Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, who noted that the state government has embarked on various interventions to protect the environment, urged residents to own the environment, desist from improper waste disposal, indiscriminate dumping of trees, blockage of drainage channels, and all other acts that are against the sanctity of the environment.
Our ministry will continue to implement policies and programs that promote environmental sustainability and resilience. However, we cannot do it alone. I call upon every Lagosian to join us in this endeavor. Please, at least plant one tree in your lifetime. Nurture it and watch it grow. Teach your children and words the importance of environmental stewardship.
The General Manager, Lagos State Parks and Gardens Agency, Adetun Popola, said the state government is committed to planting 5,000 trees with the expectation to get corporate organizations and private sector to plant 2,000 trees in 1 year. Highlights of the event was a presentation of certificates of tree planting to the governor, Sanwo-Olu, and his wife, Ibijoke, Deputy Governor Bafemi Hamzat, and wife, Olufemi, as well as other stakeholders. Our correspondent, Adeola Akinele, reports that the tree planting was carried out simultaneously across all the local government and local council development areas of the state. Lagos State Task Force has forestalled an outbreak of epidemic in the Ekpe area of the state, where dozens of cartons filled with contaminated turkey seized by the Nigerian Customs Service and set ablaze at a dump site somehow found its way into the hands of unscrupulous elements trying to sell it to members of the public. Following tip-offs from a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Rashid Shabi, and the Oloja of Ekpe, Kamordin Animashao, the officials of the Lagos State Task Force swung into action and raided the shanties close to the dump site and apprehended 8 suspects with some of the contaminated turkeys and some harmful weapons. Animashao admonished the Nigerian Customs Service to seek the support of sister agencies like the police, military, DSS, and LORMA when carrying out exhibit burning exercise to avoid official compromise and ensure the confiscated goods are thoroughly burnt beyond recovery by miscreants in the community. In a significant move to avert severe congestion by articulated trucks and improve the efficiency of logistics operations within the Lekki-Ekpe Free Trade Zone corridor, the Lagos State government has announced the commencement of the e-call-up system for managing truck movements within the axis from 1st August 2024. Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Oshiemi, who made this known, said the move is driven by the urgent need to implement a sustainable, effective, and technology-driven solution of truck movement in the Lekki-Ekpe corridor. Oshiemi said the application of e-call-up system will help synchronize movement of trucks accessing the Lekki Deep Sea Port and other industries within the corridor, starting from Eleko Junction to Lekki Free Trade Zone. He highlighted the state and federal government plans on road network expansion and intermodal transport system to streamline vehicular movement and enhance free movement in one of Lagos' most critical economic zones. Also speaking on the development, special advisor to the governor on transportation, Shola Giwa, who is saddled with the enforcement of the e-call-up system of the corridor, mentioned that an interim arrangement is being put in place to decongest the roads through evacuation of all illegal tankers from the red zone by a joint task force of the state, LGAs, LCDAs, security agencies and stakeholders. They were urged truck operators and logistics companies to comply with the new system to ensure its success. And now to the rest of the stories. To bridge the significant funding shortfall in its fight against tuberculosis and achieve the goal of eliminating it by 2030. Nigeria is seeking a 40 billion naira investment from the private sector. Currently, only 6% of the national TB budget comes from domestic sources, leaving a 70% funding gap, a critical shortage that has hindered the widespread implementation of innovative interventions and the execution of the 2021 to 2026 TB National Strategic Plan. Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Pate, who stated this in Lagos, said the federal government would match the financial commitment made by the private sector towards the goal. Pate gave a call to action on the need for the private sector involvement in ending TB in Nigeria, saying the aim was to energize and bring the public sector with the private sector to work together to end TB. The National Parents Teachers Association of Nigeria, NAPTAN, has called for tough measures against culprits of school building collapse. Its president, Aruna Danjuma, stated this on the heels of the school building collapse that occurred in Jos Metropolis on Friday. Danjuma expressed shock over the incident that led to the deaths of innocent children writing their examinations. He underscored the need for government agencies to get involved in the construction of learning facilities while charging regulatory authorities such as the Universal Basic Education Commission to live up to their mandate and make use of established laws to regulate school owners. Now to foreign news. Former United States President Donald Trump has called on Americans to stand united after the assassination attempt during an electoral rally in Pennsylvania. Trump stated this in his new post after he was injured in an attempted assassination at a rally on Saturday. He said he was shot in the ear, describing a bullet ripping through skin. Also, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, has named the gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, noting that he was shot and killed by the Secret Service. FBI said it was surprising that the attacker was able to open fire. Meanwhile, the Oversight Committee in the United States Congress has summoned the Secret Service director, saying Americans demand answers. And now sports. Spanish professional tennis player Carlos Alcaraz has won his 8th Wimbledon title after defeating Novak Djokovic in a bewildering final, retaining his men's singles title. A repeat of last year's showpiece, it failed to live up to the 5-set thriller of 12 months ago as Djokovic appeared helpless against the dominant Spaniard. After squandering 3 championship points when trying to serve out the victory, Alcaraz held his arms aloft after edging through the 3rd set tiebreak for a 6-2, 6-2, 6-7-6, and that is 7-4 win. For a second straight year, Djokovic was attempting to equal Roger Federer's record of 8 Wimbledon titles. The 24-time major winner was also trying to move ahead of Margaret Court to take sole ownership of the all-time record for the most Grand Slam singles titles. And just before we go, enjoy, make use of your seatbelt while driving. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, and YouTube. Subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 450,000 pupils with e-learning devices? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government's website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has flagged off awareness programs ahead of the proposed reintroduction of the monthly sanitation. To bridge the significant funding shortfall in its fight against tuberculosis and achieve the goal of eliminating it by 2030, Nigeria is seeking a 40 billion naira investment from the private sector. We have told you that the former United States President Donald Trump has called on Americans to stand united after the assassination attempt during an electoral rally in Pennsylvania. And in sports, Carlos Alcaraz has won his 8th Wimbledon title after defeating Novak Djokovic in a bewildering final, retaining his men's singles title. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Idoalaya. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good evening.
The past first.